Surat Al-Anbiya, the Prophets. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. The time of reckoning for humanity is drawing closer, yet they turn away thoughtlessly. Whenever a new revelation from your Lord comes to them, they listen to it playfully, their hearts distracted by worldly activities. In private, the evildoers say, "Isn't he just a man like you? Are you going to follow the magic of Muhammad with your eyes open?" The Prophet said, "My Lord knows every word spoken in the heavens and the earth. He is the listener, the knower." They replied, "These are just confused dreams. He's made them up. In fact, he's a poet. So let him bring us a miracle like the prophets of the past brought." The communities we destroyed before them didn't believe either, so will they now believe? We sent revelation to communities in the past. If you don't know this, ask the people of the scripture. We didn't make their bodies to live on earth forever, nor could they survive without food. We fulfilled our promise and saved those who we wanted, and destroyed those who wasted the opportunity of life. Indeed, we revealed a book to you that mentions you too. Why do you not understand? We destroyed many towns of the sinners and afterwards raised up other people in their place. When they sensed our punishment coming, they fled. And we said, "Do not run away. Come back to the places of your employment and homes, so you may be questioned." They said, "Suffering has come upon us. We were evildoers." They screamed till we made them like dried up stubble. We didn't create the heavens and the earth and what is between the two as a sport. If we wanted a pastime, then we would have found it within us, were we to do such a frivolous thing. Nay, we pitched the truth against falsehood, so it wiped it out. Falsehood is weak. For you is hell for the things you attribute to Allah. Everything in the heavens and the earth belongs to Him. Those near Him are not arrogant about worshipping Him, nor do they get tired. They are always glorifying Him, night and day, never growing weary. Or have they taken gods from the earth who can resurrect? If there were gods other than Allah, then there would be devastation in the heavens and the earth. Glory to Allah, Lord of the throne. He isn't the way they describe Him. He won't be questioned about what He does, but they'll be questioned. Or have they taken gods besides Him? Say, bring your proof. This is a reminder for those who are with me and a reminder for those before me. But most of them don't know the truth. They have turned away. Every messenger before you was inspired to say, "There is no God but me, so worship me." They said, "The kind Lord has a child. Glory to Him. They are honorable servants who don't speak before He speaks and obey His command. Allah knows what is in front and behind them, and they will not intercede except for Him who He is pleased with, since they are in fear of Him. If any among them claimed, 'I am God beside Him,' then we shall punish him in hell. That's how we treat the evildoers. Don't the disbelievers know the heavens and the earth were joined at one time? We split them apart and made every living thing from water. Won't they believe? We made mountains on earth for stability, so it does not shake beneath them, and we made wide open pathways so they can find their way. And we made the sky a protected roof. They still turn away from these marvelous signs. He created night and day, sun and moon, each one moving in its orbit. In the past, we didn't make any human being who lived forever. So if you should die, will they live forever? Everyone will taste death. We shall test you all with something good and something bad, and finally you will be returned to us. The disbelievers mock when they see you and say, "Is this the one who talks about your gods?" They fail to acknowledge the name of the Most Kind Lord. Man was made hasty and impatient. I will show you my signs, so don't ask me to hasten them. They ask, when will this promise be fulfilled if you are truthful? If only the disbelievers knew. A time will come when they won't be able to stop the fire burning their faces and backs, and they will be helpless. It will come unexpectedly, taking them by surprise. They won't be able to get away, nor get any relief. Messengers were mocked before you, and the jokers were punished by the punishment they used to mock. Say, who can protect you at night and during the day from the Most Kind Lord? They turn away from their Lord's remembrance. Or do they have gods that can protect them beside us? They're incapable of helping themselves or being safe from us. For a long time, we allowed them and their fathers to enjoy the good things of life. Haven't they noticed how we are gradually reducing the borders of their city? So, are they dominant? Say, I am warning you with the revelation. Unfortunately, the deaf will not hear the warning call when it's given. If a mere puff of your Lord's punishment strikes them, they say, it's too bad for us, we were wrong. On Judgment Day, we shall set up the scales of justice so that no one is misjudged. Even if there is something as little as the weight of a mustard seed, we shall bring it out. We are good in weighing. We gave Musa and Harun the standard to distinguish between right and wrong, a light and a message for the mindful people, those who fear their Lord without seeing Him, and they are fearful of the final hour. This is a sacred message we have sent down. So will you reject it? Long before that, we gave Ibrahim guidance. We knew him well. Remember when he said to his father and the community, "What are those idols you worship?" They said, "Our forefathers were their worshippers." He said, "You and your forefathers are obviously wrong." They replied, "Have you come with the truth, or are you joking?" He said, "Your Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth, who created them, and I am one of the witnesses to this. By Allah, I will plan something for your idols after you have turned your backs and gone away." He smashed them to pieces except the biggest, which he left intact so they would return to it. They said, "Who has done this to our gods? He must be evil." Some said, "We heard a young man called Ibrahim speaking disapprovingly about them." So they demanded, "Bring him in front of the people, so they will see him." They asked, "Ibrahim, did you do this to our gods?" He replied, "It was the big one who did this. Ask them if they can speak." So they turned to themselves, saying secretly, "You are the ones who are wrong." They shook their heads in disbelief and said, "You know they can't speak." Ibrahim quipped, "So why do you worship beside Allah something unable to benefit or harm you? A disgrace for you and what you worship beside Allah. Why don't you understand?" They shouted angrily, "Burn him and help your gods if you're going to do something." We ordered, "Fire, be cool and comforting for Ibrahim." They wished to harm him, so we made them the biggest losers. We rescued Ibrahim and Lut and took them to the land we blessed for all humanity. So we gave Ibrahim Ishaq and Yaqub as a grandson, and we made them righteous and great leaders, guiding others with our commandments, and inspired many virtues. The performance of the prayer and the giving of zakat, they were our true worshippers. We gave Lut authority and knowledge, and rescued him from a town which practiced filthy acts of indecency. They were sinful people. We were kind to Lut since he was righteous. Remember the bygone days when Nuh called for help? We answered and rescued him and his followers from a terrible torment. We helped him against people who denied our revelations. They were evil, so we drowned them. Remember when Dawood and Suleiman were making judgment regarding the cornfield, where some people's sheep had wandered off to graze? We were witness of their judgment. We helped Suleiman understand the problem. Each one we blessed with judgment and knowledge. We made mountains echo and the birds sing our praises together with Dawood. We did all these things. We taught him how to make coats of armor so that you can protect yourself from others. Will you be thankful for this? Suleiman could command the stormy winds blowing to the land which we had blessed. We know all things. He also controlled the jinn that dived deep in the sea for him and would do other works for him too. We were their keepers. And remember Ayub when he called his Lord, I am suffering. You are the kindest of all. We answered and relieved him of the suffering, gave back his family even bigger than before. For the worshippers, this was a special kindness from us and a reminder. Ismail, Idris and Zulkifl, each one was patient and steadfast. We blessed them with prophethood. They were righteous. Remember Zanun when he left Nineveh angrily, thinking we wouldn't restrain or question him? He prayed in the depth of darkness, there is no God except you. Glory be to you. I was wrong. We saved and rescued him from distress, and that's how we saved the believers. And remember Zachariah when he called to his Lord, my Lord, do not leave me childless. You are the best of inheritors. We answered him, gave him Yahya and healed his wife. They were always quick to do good works. Pray to us with profound longing and fear. They were humble before us. Mention the lady who protected her chastity. We breathed in her our spirit and made her and her son a miraculous sign for all people. This is your community, a single united community. I am your Lord, so worship me. Unfortunately, people tore the unity of their religion. All will be returning to us. Whoever does righteous deeds as a believer, the reward of their good efforts will not be denied to them. We record it for them. The communities we destroyed just couldn't turn away from their evil ways. When Gog and Magog are let loose, rushing down swiftly from every direction, the true promise will draw near. Then the disbelievers will watch in horror and say, woe to us! We were not aware of this. In fact, we were wrong. It will be said, you and those you worship beside Allah are the fuel of hell. That is where you will go. If these were really your gods, then they wouldn't be here. They will stay there forever, hearing nothing but sobbing. The people we promised heaven will be kept far away from hell. They won't hear the slightest noise of hell. They will have whatever they want. They won't be distressed by the great terror of Judgment Day. The angels will greet them saying, this is your day, which you were promised. That day we will roll up the sky like the writer rolls up the scroll. We will recreate as we created the first time. It's a promise we've undertaken and will fulfill it. In the Psalms and the previous scriptures, we wrote, my righteous servants will inherit the earth. In this Quran is a message for the worshippers. We sent you, messenger, as a kindness for all the worlds. Say, it is revealed to me, your Lord is one, so won't you submit? If they turn away, say, I have declared what you've been promised. I'm not sure whether it is near or far. He knows what you say openly and what you hide. What do I know? This may be a test for you or a respite in the form of enjoyment for a short while. The messenger prayed, my Lord, make fair judgment. Our Lord the kind is the one whose help is sought against what you say. Surat Al-Hajj, the pilgrimage. In the name of Allah, the kind, the caring. People, fear your Lord. The earthquake of the final hour will be a significant event. You will see every breastfeeding mother forget her suckling baby. Every pregnant woman will miscarry, and every person will appear drunk that day, though they won't be drunk, but such will be the severity of Allah's punishment. There are some people who argue about Allah without any knowledge and follow every rebellious demon. It is declared, whoever befriends Satan, he will misguide him and lead him towards the punishment of the blazing fire. People, if you are in any doubt about the resurrection, we originally created you from clay, then from a drop of semen. This became a clot of blood, then a lump of flesh, some parts recognizable, others unrecognizable, then a fetus. We revealed this to make the resurrection clear for you. We plant in wombs whatever we choose for a fixed term. Then we bring you out as a baby. Then you reach maturity, after which Some of you die young while others proceed to feeble old age, to the extent that they know nothing after having known so much. Likewise, you see the earth appear lifeless? Then, when we send down rain, it stirs and swells, producing beautiful pairs of plants. This shows Allah is the truth. He brings the dead back to life and has power over all things. The final hour is coming without a doubt, when Allah will resurrect all who are in their graves. People argue about Allah without knowledge or guidance, or any enlightening book, turning aside disapprovingly to cause others to stray from Allah's way. Such a person will be disgraced in this world, and on Judgment Day we will make him taste the punishment of the blazing inferno. He will be told, "That's what your hands produced." Allah isn't at all unjust to His servants. People who worship Allah doubting Him are satisfied at the best of times, but at the worst of times they go back to their old ways, losing in both this world and the next. That is a big loss. Instead of Allah, they call on what cannot harm or benefit them. That's straying far away. In fact, they call on that which is more likely to harm than benefit them. What wretched allies and what wretched company. However, Allah will admit into gardens beneath which rivers flow those who believe and do righteous deeds. Allah does what He wishes. Whoever imagines that Allah will not help Muhammad either in this world or the next, let him hang himself from a rope tied to the ceiling, then cut it off, and see if his cunning plan has made his anger go away. That is how we sent the Quran down as clear verses, and Allah guides whom He wishes. People who are believers, the Jews, the Sabians, the Christians, the Zoroastrians, and the idolaters, we shall decide between them on Judgment Day. Allah witnesses everything. Don't you see whatever is in the heavens and on earth prostrates before Allah? The sun, the moon, the stars, the mountains, the trees, the animals, and many people. But there are many who justly deserve punishment. Anyone Allah disgraces will have no one to honor him. Allah does whatever He pleases. These make up two opposite groups who argue about their Lord. Those who disbelieve will have suits cut out of fire and scalding water poured over their heads, causing their insides and their skins to dissolve, and they will be restrained with iron rods. Whenever out of agony they try to escape their torment, they will be returned into it and told, "Taste the punishment of the blazing inferno." However, Allah will admit those who believe and do righteous deeds into gardens with rivers flowing beneath them. They will be decorated with bracelets of gold and pearls, and their clothes will be of silk. Those who were guided in this world to the very best of speech and were guided to the path of the praiseworthy, but not those who disbelieve and block others from Allah's way and from the sacred mosque, which we established for all the people. Whether resident or traveler, anyone who seeks to violate its sanctity by wrongdoing, we shall make him taste a painful punishment. Remember when we marked out for Ibrahim the place of the ancient house, saying, "Don't associate anything with me. Keep my house clean for those who circle it. Worship there, standing, bowing, and prostrating. Announce the pilgrimage to people. They will come to you on foot and mounted on all kinds of lean camels through every deep mountain pass, to take part in rites that benefit them and to invoke the name of Allah on specific days over such livestock as He has provided for them to sacrifice. Eat the cattle and feed the needy and poor. Then complete the rites of cleansing, fulfill the vows, and circle the ancient house. Anyone who respects the sacred rites of Allah shall fare better in the Lord's sight. Livestock is lawful for you, except ones already mentioned. Stay away from the impurity of idols and words of falsehood. Incline towards Allah without associating partners with Him. The one who associates partners with Allah is like the one fallen from the sky, and birds snatch at him. or like the wind that carries him off to a faraway place. Anyone who respects Allah's symbols displays true piety of the heart. There are benefits for you in those symbols for a designated period. The rites conclude at the place of sacrifice near the ancient house. We prescribed a rite of sacrifice for every community, so they may invoke the name of Allah over such livestock as provided for them. Your God is one God, so submit to Him. And Messenger, give glad tidings to humble servants whose hearts tremble at the mention of Allah. Respond patiently to any affliction. Perform the prayer and spend in charity from what we provided them. The sacrificial camels you find valuable are included among Allah's symbols. So invoke Allah's name on them as they stand ready for slaughter. And once they have fallen dead on their side, eat from them and feed the needy, whether they ask or not. That is how we tamed them for you, so you may be thankful. Neither their meat nor their blood reaches Allah, but it is your piety that reaches Allah. That's how we made them obedient for you. So praise Allah for guiding you. Give glad tidings to the righteous. Allah will defend the believers. Allah dislikes ungrateful traitors. Permission to fight is given to those who were attacked because they have been wronged. And Allah has the power to help those who were unfairly driven out of their homes for saying, "Our Lord is Allah." If Allah didn't defend some people by means of others, then monasteries, churches, synagogues and mosques where Allah's name is regularly praised would have been destroyed. Allah will support whoever supports His cause. Allah is strong, almighty. If we granted some people authority on earth, they would establish the prayer, collect zakat, enjoin the common good and forbid evil. The outcome in all matters is determined by Allah. If today they are denying you, then long before them the people of Nuh, Ad and Thamud denied their prophets too. Likewise the people of Ibrahim and of Lut and the inhabitants of Madian. Even Musa was denied, so I gave the disbelievers time to think. Then I seized them. How great was my rejection of their actions. How many towns have we destroyed whilst they were doing wrong? So today their buildings are razed to the ground and wells are abandoned. And how many lofty palaces have they not traveled the earth? So you would think they had either minds with which to reflect or ears with which to hear. In truth, it's not the lack of sight that causes blindness, but the lack of insight, which is found in people's chests. They ask you to bring forward the punishment, but Allah will never break His promise. Your Lord's single day is like 1,000 years by your calculations. I granted respite to many towns whilst they were doing wrong. Then I seized them, and to me is the final return. Say, people, I'm only a clear warner to you. As for those who believe and do righteous deeds, they will have forgiveness and generous provision. But those who strive against our signs will be the companions of hell in vain. We haven't sent a single messenger or prophet before you who recited our revelation, but Satan suggested errors in his recitation. Allah removes whatever Satan suggests. Then Allah makes clear His verses. Allah is knowing, wise, thereby turning whatever Satan suggests into a test for those in whose hearts is sickness, and for the hard of heart. The wrongdoers are far removed from the truth. And Allah does this so those given knowledge should know that it is the truth from your Lord and believe in it. Their hearts turning to Him in humility, Allah guides the believers towards a straight path. The disbelievers will continue to be in doubt about the truth until the final hour comes abruptly, or the punishment of a barren day. On that day, Allah will have the authority to judge between them. Those who believed and did righteous deeds will be in the gardens of delight, but those who disbelieved and rejected our signs will have a humiliating punishment. Those who migrated for the sake of Allah, or killed or died on the way, Allah will provide for them handsomely, and Allah is the best provider, admitting them to the hereafter through a gate that pleases them. Allah is knowing, gentle. That is Allah's command, and whoever retaliates in equal measure to any injury received and is then wronged again, Allah will support him to regain his right. Allah is pardoning, forgiving. Allah merges night into day and day into night, and Allah is hearing, seeing. That is also because Allah alone is real, and anything else they call on besides Him is false. It is Allah who is the exalted, the great. Have you not considered how Allah sends rain from the sky, turning the earth green? Allah is subtle, aware. Everything in the heavens and the earth belongs to Him. Allah is the self-sufficient, the praiseworthy. Have you not considered how Allah made everything on earth to serve you? Ships sail on the sea by His command, and He holds the sky in place so that it does not fall onto the earth. Everything happens with His permission. Allah is compassionate, kind to people. It is He who brought you to life, then causes you to die, and will then bring you back to life. How ungrateful are humans! We prescribe rituals for every community to practice, so let them not argue with you over such matters. Instead, invite them to your Lord, for you are guided on a straight path. If they argue with you, say, Allah knows best what you are doing. Allah will decide between you on Judgment Day regarding your differences. Do you not accept that Allah knows whatever exists in the sky and on earth? All is recorded in a book. That's easy for Allah. They worship beside Allah things for which no authority has been revealed, nor do they have knowledge. Consequently, such wrongdoers shall have no helper. Whenever you recite our clear verses to them, you can recognize disapproval on the disbelievers' faces, to the extent that they are almost violent towards those who recite our verses to them. Say, shall I inform you of something even worse? The fire which Allah has promised those who disbelieve, a wretched destination. People, here is an example, so listen to it carefully. The idols you worship beside Allah can't create a fly, even if they all got together to do so. In fact, if a fly were to snatch something from them, they would be unable to take it back. How weak are both the devotee and the object of devotion. They fail to accord Allah the power that He deserves. Allah is strong, mighty. Allah chooses messengers from among the angels and humans. Allah is hearing, seeing. He knows their past, present and future, and eventually all affairs return to Allah. Believers, bow down and prostrate in worship of your Lord, and do good so you may succeed. Strive for the sake of Allah to do what is right as much as He deserves. He chose you and placed no hardship in the religion. It is the way of worship of your father Ibrahim. Long ago He named you Muslims, as in this Quran, so that the messenger might stand witness against you if you strayed, and that you might stand witness against humanity's vices. So perform the prayer, give zakat, and hold firmly to faith in Allah, your protector. How excellent a protector, and how excellent a helper. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings with you all. Thank you for visiting our channel. Please remember us in your du'as. If you enjoy listening to this translation of the Holy Quran, please consider subscribing and sharing our efforts with everyone and anyone. May Allah accept this effort of ours as sadaqah for us and our loved ones, and make it a means of our success in this life and the Akhira. Ameen, summa Ameen.